If you want to stay out of trouble, behave yourself inside.
And if I refuse? It hurts!
You'll hurt even more.
Hello, and welcome to whatever this is. You are currently being subjected to one of my delirious 5 a.m. projects. This video you're watching is not an introduction to the channel itself. I don't intend to open and maintain a Love and Deepspace theory / video essay channel or anything like that. I just wanted to pour some of my thoughts about Sylus. But I assume you know how it is. You experience something in the game, your heart swells with emotions, and your brain is outrunning Raphael on the treadmill. Not a hard feat, but still.
What did you just say?
And you want anyone to listen to you, or someplace to dump all these excess thoughts and feelings. While I can't foresee how the structure or schedule will be like yet, I'm planning to film at least 2, at most 4 parts. I will get to what those parts will be later on, and I wanted to get some things out of the way with this introduction instead of opening other videos with long-winded explanations. Now, you don't need me to come out and openly say this. I think it's clear, but this is my very, very first YouTube video, and I bet it'll be incorrigible to watch, or, well, more like listen, because video and sound editing, who? But yeah, just know that this is the quality you're signing up to. Of course, you may ask, why YouTube then, if you don't have the skills or the equipment or whatever? And it would be a valid question. I'm an anime manga reviewer, blogger, have been one for the past 10 years or so, and all my social media accounts are geared towards that. I don't have any Love and Deepspace related accounts. I don't want to open one, to be real with you. Too many social media accounts fry my brain, and I don't want to annoy my current online friends any more than I do already. So I decided to dump these thoughts into YouTube, a platform that I have never created content for before. And you, my listener, have some tough luck to stumble upon my video. Initially, I resisted getting into Love and Deepspace for reasons, even though I was aware of its existence and kept seeing the game on my timeline. I will spare you the lore, but eventually I was kindly, quote-unquote, bullied by my online friend into playing. At the time of recording this, it's been, I think, 6 months now since I've started playing the game. And God, am I disoriented and frustrated because of getting into this game late. I have played the main story, and I will list the Sylus cards I have and my intimacy level so you have an idea of what I've experienced so far. The main story was okay. It's straightforward since you play that from chapter 1 and move towards the current point. But my experience with the love interests stories are all over the place, because imagine starting a game and soon after you're getting married to your fave. Because the wedding banner was the very first event that I have experienced. Then I get a card from the standard banner and we're just making things official. I get another, we're still in the playful enemies phase. And I'm like, that I'm so confused, but at this point I'm too scared to ask Guy. Not being able to experience the relationship gradually and chronologically makes it hard for me to discern whether there's some info or event that I'm missing, whether it's a recurring detail, or I'm just, delusionally reading into things. When I say chronologically, I don't mean it in the in-game story chronology, but in the sense of the order of the card's release. So the Former would be Abysm Sovereign, then would come Silverwing, I guess. So not in that order, but the way a player would experience as they go, as it is intended by Infold. And that would make the first card Relentless Conqueror, because that's how Sylus was introduced. So I only have bits and pieces from scattered timelines as info, and I'm honestly scared to do research because I'm one of the biggest and biggest anti-spoiler person you'd ever see. I don't want to stumble upon a crucial information that I could experience myself later on just because I was curious about one specific bit. This, for example, happened to me with My Hero Academia. I was catching up with manga, and there was this character that I really enjoyed getting to see. And I was like, how about I search for fan art of this character? Innocent idea, right? So I go to a search bar, I write their name, and what's the word that search bar completes my search with? Death. I had no idea a couple of chapters later that character was going to die.
Bombastic side eye. Criminal offensive side eye.
You live and learn, I guess. For example, Caleb's New Year card has this part where they're getting super close, they're resting their heads on each other's, their lips inch closer, and they're almost kissing. There's this charged moment, and MC thinks, I'm paraphrasing obviously, she thinks that the previous kiss they shared is something that they haven't properly talked about. And Caleb was already a love interest when I started playing the game, but I understood that he was added later on. So I'm like, when did that kiss happen? I know they are technically brother and sister, and from siblings to love interest pipeline shouldn't be that short, I guess. So I wondered, was it a spur of the moment thing? Did it happen during their adolescent years? A drunken mistake, perhaps? Was it a part of a card or an event that I'm missing, maybe? Or is this info just being brought up? For someone like me, there's no way of knowing unless you do the search. Which is a dangerous thing. And another detail that bugged me was something I thought I noticed about Sylus. For example, his appearance is sometimes a topic of conversation. On the main screen, he sometimes, quote unquote, wonders how he looks like in MC's eyes. Or he says that intel on his appearance fetches a good price in the market. He's everywhere, he's striking deals left and right. He even visits Hunters Association and meets MC's boss in one of the video calls. He actually calls him when he's in the building just to send her into an anxious fit. I think the video call was called Keep Distance. He does questionable stuff. Sure, we love him for that. But it's not like he kills everyone that lays eyes on him, right? So that they don't live to tell the story. I remember thinking it was strange that no one knew what he looked like. But I didn't have much data on this, and my tendency is usually to wait and see whether it will turn into a recurring detail rather than trying to find meaning under every little detail like some theorists do. A little disclaimer that this is not a diss on anyone, it's just a different way of approaching the media. Anyways, I chalked these up to being metaphors and I didn't take them literally or place too much importance on them. At that time, I knew about the Dragon Sylus myth, but haven't experienced it yet. As these thoughts were swirling at the back of my mind, I started reading a BL manhwa that brought these thoughts forward again. And this will be a weird tangent, but get used to my weird tangents. I was reading this manhwa called Dark Guardian. It's available in English on Manta, and it tells the story of God and Lucifer striking a deal over the purest soul that resides in Elijah. He's an 8-year-old kid living in an orphanage. It's kind of like a bet. They wager over who's going to claim the boy's soul first. Because Lucifer is more entangled in the worldly business, so to speak, compared to God, each year he sends a gift to Elijah while making generous donations to the orphanage. There is a part where Lucifer and a now adolescent Elijah is at an exhibition of sorts, and Elijah is staring intently at the oil paintings of different depictions of the devil and hell, and they start having a conversation about the real form of Lucifer, because at the time Lucifer presents itself as a gorgeous man with ravenous hair, and he even jokes about whether Elijah would prefer him in a woman's body. Anyway, Elijah asks, looking at one of the depictions, "Do you really have a face on your stomach?" And Lucifer answers, "To be precise, I recreate the fears imagined by humans. That's how I command authority." It's an extremely compelling series, by the way. I highly recommend it. But I'm sure you get the point that it was interesting how you could think of Sylus from a similar angle. But as I've said, at the time I didn't have the myth card. I wanted to wait for the future rerun. Well, in my defense, I wasn't aware of how brutal the pool system was in Love and Deepspace yet. I was like, oh, well, I'll get it, I'm sure.
Have I underestimated your determination or overestimated your intellect?
Then my friend who got me into the game sent me a theory video. I will link it if my boomer and technologically challenged ass can manage. I was surprised because I wasn't delusional after all, and there was something to be said about his physical appearance. And it all made sense after I was able to play the myth itself. That being said, I don't watch theory videos or breakdowns about Sylus because I want to experience and form thoughts around his character myself first. This is also something I adhere to when reviewing comics. I want to read them, form opinions on them myself, and write them first so that I can read other detailed reviews. So while there are Kindled videos I've watched on YouTube or certain voice recordings used in fan edits, I purposefully stay away, or at least try to, from Sylus related stuff. And so what I will be offering to you in the upcoming videos is not some deep theory or prediction. I will not be uncovering any deep layer in Love and Deepspace, or heck, I'm not even sure if I can provide something new to you. As I've said, I don't really watch these kinds of videos. Maybe everything I will say were already said by others. Still, I will get these thoughts out of my chest, out of my head, with no additional research, only replaying what I have already played in the game. And then I can hopefully get a good night's sleep, because I need to put these thoughts somewhere and be done with them. I beg.
Get to the point.
Finally reached the point where I'll explain what the future videos will be about. I will divide the things I want to talk about into 4 categories, which technically could be grouped into 2, but the number of videos will depend on how much material I will end up with. As everyone and their grandmothers know, these myths and the chunks of main story about corresponding love interests are all parallels to each other, and because I will be looking at themes and patterns, it made more sense to divide these videos into themes instead of going about them myth by myth. And the topics I want to cover are, first, the concept of home, roots. What does home mean to Sylus? Where exactly his roots are, if he has them or places importance on them. Desire. This is, of course, Sylus's main deal and his almost only way of relating to others. It's no secret and very on the nose how he actively urges MC to desire for her to be greedy as well. But what exactly he wants her to desire? I wanted to discuss this in a bit more detail. These two are, I think, kind of related, so maybe they'll fit into a single video. I'll have to write and see. The other two that I think can also be grouped are Sylus and MC being kindred spirits, being halves of a whole, and the course of their relationship, from how they meet to how their relationship reaches an end. Well, the current timeline is ongoing, but the previous myths all end in a certain way. And yeah, I think that's about it for the introduction. As I've said, I'm going into this accepting that I'm missing a good chunk of context or examples that I could have added. I'm not interested in being right or wrong. I don't really care about predicting or uncovering the hidden Sylus and whatnot. I'm just here to yap about this cute, tall man with 2 adopted sons and a pet mechanical crow. So thank you for checking this out and bearing with me until the end. It was very brave of you. I really don't appreciate spoilers. They make me physically ill. So if I'm missing info, either let me stay ignorant or simply name drop a card, chapter, or section for me to check out. Of course, if you find anything in these videos that are useful, if you feel inspired, if you have any other ideas or associations that you make, let me know. Or if you use anything that I mentioned here in your own videos or meta posts, please credit me, but also let me know so that I can check out your stuff as well. You can find my straw page below, which has an anonymous ask box and also contains my social media accounts. As I've said, they're not Les related. I will not be saying, oh, please come and follow me or give me a like or anything like that. But yeah, those are places that you can use to reach out to me. And I think that's it. Just know that I don't bite. You can talk to me. People always say that I give off an intimidating vibe, but I guess we're pretty much kindred spirits with Sylus in that regard. I'm honestly not scary at all. At least I don't think. Well, until then, don't forget to stay hydrated. I wish everyone a happy new year. I hope you get your beloved companion as quickly as you can. I know getting them in the first time pulls is kind of like a dream come true. So let me say, I hope you have enough diamonds and you get your companion, and see you around. Don't forget to feed your local crows and be kind to them.